Are you ready? Are you ready? Let's go! Do you have absolute certainty on how you go from hello to yes on what you're looking for?
Sean is a master. He teaches. It's not just about sharing the formula with you. It's about making sure that we learn.
I went from $100,000 in debt from law school to having no money and starting my own law firm on my credit card to selling it 4 years later.
Sean and I, we co-created massive victories in 2 unwinnable jury trials, which are recognized nationally now as top 100 jury verdicts.
To be even on the same track with you, who I respect and admire and love with all my heart.
Never again submit. You're not better and you're not less than any human on earth.
When you shared with us about the unblinded process and the mastery sales training, I just went, wow.
Sean will gain proximity to the most influential and powerful people. He will find out how he can grow their business, how he can help them personally. But the third thing that he does is the most important. Sean serves without an expectation of getting anything in return.
You have very, very high-performing colleagues.
22 years ago, you transformed my life as you did all these people's lives over the course of time. And I couldn't be more grateful. Let's hear it for Tony Robbins.
I don't see him as a lawyer, and I don't see him as a blind person. Someone who has subjugated his ego, who has taught me what serving really looks like.
You have this incredible ability to just have unconditional love for everyone, and that is just an incredible gift.
The moment you have been waiting for.
The American Blind Association is the first new face and voice of that association since Helen Keller.
Formula for formulas, which is exactly what I've learned from Sean. It's a language-based predictable model. We will have over 300 new sales meetings this month.
This superpower in the world that is attainable for you is the ability to influence people. If you believe that, say yes. If you believe that, say yes. Do you think that worked? I do think that worked, Gina Ricci, Bella of Rita. Gina, how are you?
I am wonderful, thank you, Sean. Sean, what the heck are we doing here today?
What we're doing here today, Gina, on this Mastery Monday, hello, welcome everyone, is we're exploring the superpower of influence, but not just any influence, integrous influence. That doesn't sound like something Pollyannic from, Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts. What we're really talking about is how do we have transparency, add more value, and by bringing this influence to the world, what actually happens in our marketing or selling, our managing, our leading, our recruiting, our fundraising, our lawyering, all the things. So Gina, and we gamify it. We could be meeting each other for the first time and having dinner at the Capitol Grill in Paramus or some other fine restaurant that you might like. But what we're doing here is meeting virtually to begin to explore that power and get to know each other. So who's here?
First up, Sean Kelly, we have this extraordinary woman to your right. I'd love to tell everybody about her, but do you want to do that first?
I would love to do that first. This woman sitting to my right, the co-host of The Real Raw, started selling crafts on her front lawn as an 8-year-old, progressed to being a major income earner in the space of network marketing in her late teens. That ain't easy. But then moved into the space of business brokering in Nevada, male-dominated industry, super intense, and became the #1 business broker in the state of Nevada. Youngest person ever to do it, first woman ever to do it. And then she progressed to be the co-host of Real Raw, causing business to double in scale. In fact, in 2019, professional practices and other businesses overall, every team she worked with doubled their sales in 2019. The only co-host of Real Raw, fresh off a speaking event in Orlando, Florida, near the House of the Mouse, the one, the only Bella of Rita.
Thank you, Sean Kelly.
What's your fun fact, Bella?
My fun fact, Sean, is I am a 44-year-old college student. After never going to college because I was dyslexic and I barely graduated high school with a 1.7 GPA, I decided to go back to college to go to ministerial school, and now I have a 4.0 in college. So I went from going from a drug dealer to a God dealer.
That is extraordinary. Congratulations on your 4.0. And how does that feel for you?
It feels absolutely extraordinary just takes a little bit of, focus, a hard work. And I think, I've learned so much about self-mastery and how to learn here that it actually, I hate to say this, but it actually kind of made it easy.
Woof.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations and keep up the great work. And you were doing homework today.
I was doing homework. Yes.
Yeah, awesome. Gina, we have some extraordinary people aside from the amazing co-host Bella Farida. Who else is here?
First up, joining us from Summit, New Jersey, one of the few attorneys in our country that has a 360 practice representing management and employees, as well as an HR certification, background in coaching, and with a diagnostic system called Hires, auditing employment practices, bringing better alignment, and roughly 70% of his executive clients are women seeking knowledge and empowerment in their employment negotiations. He also might have a top secret business launching in the fall with his wife, Heather, to help executives better understand and access employment opportunities. Please, everyone, welcome Howard Matalon to The Real Raw.
Thank you very much. Nice to be here.
Howard, welcome to the party. It is a privilege to have you here, sir.
Thank you, Sean. It's great to be here.
And
everyone.
What's your fun fact, Howard?
So on the weekends, I work at a wolf preserve where we take care of endangered animals. It's in Jackson, New Jersey.
Oh, right in the general Six Flags Great Adventure.
It's less than a mile from Great Adventure.
I love this. Congratulations.
Yeah.
That is super cool. And it's an open wolf preserve, like available for visits or no?
But yeah, visits on the weekends during the week. Yeah, anytime.
We're coming.
We'll hook you up.
I'm totally.
Courtney would love.
Yes, my daughter's a wildlife ecology mate.
Well,
she's
come on.
College.
We'll give her a private tour.
Amazing. Oh my God, Howard, that is extraordinary.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I love what you're doing. How did you enter into the space of personal development, coaching, acceleration? What's your connection there?
So I was part of an organization years ago that was about bringing spirituality and leadership together, because I think we don't have enough of that. And that's what led me on the journey of adding HR coaching to my background, and then realizing we could do a much better job for people than just simply lawyering. That we needed to understand their issues, right? We had to think out of the box, and we had to do a better job of problem solving than we were doing. And that's what I'm doing now. And it's really uplifting and empowering, particularly all the women that I've been able to help over the years.
Beautiful, Howard. That's awesome. Really, this is our people.
I
Great
like
job.
Howard.
Yeah, wolves and empowerment.
Yeah.
Wolves and
Thank you. I
empowerment.
like you guys too.
Yeah, thank you, Howard. Thank you. Gina, we got wolves and empowerment with Howard. Who else do we have here?
Next up, we are going to Basking Ridge, New Jersey. This brilliant woman is an associate general counsel at Verizon, and she is also president-elect of the South Asian Bar Association of New Jersey, expanding nationally, and co-chair of the Punjabi Chamber of Commerce. She handles corporate contracts and more. And in pure service, Sean, Bella, and everyone, she spends hours every week interviewing and highlighting a lawyer of the week on LinkedIn, giving national attention to those that do not have the outreach, feeling that she has so much to give and loves to give massive attention to those she touches. So please, let's all give it up for Rippy Carta.
Rippy up to big things. How are you?
I'm doing really well. I'm so excited to be here. The energy here is palpable.
Well, thank you so much, Rippy. And what is your fun fact?
So I would say my fun fact is I'm a citizen of 3 countries. I have lived in 4 countries and speak 5 languages.
Wow. Can we ask what 5 languages do you speak?
Sure. So French, Spanish, obviously English, Punjabi, and Hindi. And a little bit of working knowledge of Urdu, if I would like to count that too.
Yeah, yes, that is, I think 6 times the number of languages I speak. So that is absolutely extraordinary. And what is on your heart, your mission, your passion? Obviously, leadership is present. What's it all about?
So I've been very fortunate and been the recipient of many amazing mentors and leaders who have brought me along on this amazing journey. And my current success, I owe in large part to that type of mentoring. And right now, the main issue that I'm focused on is trying my best to provide assistance and resources to women who are looking to close the wage hour a salary gap between men and women, and those that are historically disenfranchised.
Love this. These are extraordinary human beings here today.
Wow.
I feel like there's a lot that Rippy and Howard can connect on for sure.
Yeah, and maybe Rippy might know Paul Criscolo. I know that she does. That is amazing. Awesome, Rippy. Thank you so much for being here, and we're gonna have some fun today.
Great.
Leadership is present. Gina Ricci.
For sure.
Who else is here?
Next up, from Gloucester, New Jersey, she's the owner of her private family law practice, named it 2002 as the top 40 under 40 nation's best advocates by the National Bar. She's a trustee of the Interest on Lawyers Trust Accounts Fund of the New Jersey Bar for a 5-year term, President's Award for her work with the National Bar, new leader of the bar, Region 3 Director of the National Bar, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and Delaware. The list goes on. VP of the Association of Black Women's Lawyers of New Jersey. Just absolutely extraordinary. Let's all please welcome Nilaja Ford to the Real Raw.
It's Nilaja.
Nilaja, so Elijah with an N, basically. Knee like your kneecap.
Okay.
Yeah, Nilaja.
Gotcha. Yeah, thank you. Nilaja, welcome. And what is your fun fact besides the fact that I think you lead everything? This is like leadership day on the Real Raw. This is incredible. Please.
Well, my fun fact is that I have been a lawyer for 3 years and counting.
Wow.
I was previously in human resources for 14 years prior to going to law school. And before that, I was actually an entertainer. I was a singer, songwriter, and on-air personality. I did a lot of work for BET and MTV. I traveled a lot, you know, and had this whole other life going on as well. I retired right before law school.
Amazing. Extraordinary. So congratulations on all that. Lots and lots of extraordinary magic present. And how about yourself? What is your mission, vision, purpose? Why all the things?
Well, you know, like Rippy, I do believe in larger mission, humanity, helping the world be a better place. And in my individual capacity, I work with a lot of families who I hope to see resolution for. I actually am someone who is not looking to tear things apart, but to piece them together in a different way. So I do find that as my personal mission, which is why I did start my firm. I do a lot of work in domestic violence. And you know, just generally speaking, my bar membership and leadership does come from a service mission generally, just wanting to help the profession, diversify the profession, and, you know, generally just, you know, change the stereotype of what a lawyer looks like and what a lawyer is supposed to be. So I do appreciate being here now in this new career.
No, well, Nilaja, thank you so much for that, for all your heart, your vision, your purpose, and fun energy. Cowley Law, our law firm, happens to have as our mission statement to fundamentally change the way people feel about attorneys one client at a time through our caring, urgency, and aggression. So welcome to the party as we change the profession. Thank you for being here, Nilaja.
Thank you.
Thank you. Gina.
Another extraordinary leader from Carlsbad, California, startup attorney, former lead counsel of an Anderson Horowitz backed tech company, former associate general counsel of a publicly traded multinational company, and former M&A attorney at a top tier law firm. She now runs her own practice, acting as external general counsel for Series A to Series C's companies backed by extraordinarily high-level top investors in the world like Ashton Kutcher and Peter Thiel and their companies. Received international media attention when her husband got diagnosed with cancer on their honeymoon in San Diego from New Zealand, fighting for months with insurance companies over millions of dollars of treatments, now advocating for numerous organizations. Let's all please welcome Danny Fontanesi to the Real Raw.
Danny, how are you?
I'm great. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. Well, welcome. Incredible accomplishments as well. We're going left coast to right coast.
Yes.
Super fun. And what is your fun fact, Danny?
My fun fact is that I grew up on the North Shore of Oahu, which is the surfing capital of the world for any surfers on the call here. I heard you were a surfer, so
yes,
yeah.
That's amazing. And what's your relationship with the ocean?
I love the ocean. I could not live far from it. I cannot be far from it. I went to law school in the Midwest and was very landlocked and had like this sort of landlocked anxiety being there. I just, need to be able to see it, feel it, smell it.
Beautiful. Well, awesome.
Yeah.
And your mission, vision, purpose in the world, like what's it all about, Danny?
I would say helping people, as all of us, on this call, I think all have that similar mission, specifically, providing access to resources to those who struggle to find access. And I do that both in my law practice and sort of through my work with various philanthropic organizations.
Very good. Well, appreciate you. And thank you so much for being here today, Danny.
My pleasure.
All right. We're going from Hawaii to California to New Jersey. Gina, who else is here today?
Coming back over to Secaucus, New Jersey.
That's not Hawaii.
I know. That is not Hawaii. Civil litigation attorney with a CLMC firm focused on contracts, government entity representation, labor law, etc. Graduated Magna Cum Laude from Seton Hall University, Sean. And in 2011 with a master's in public administration and concentration in public service. In 2015, he was a fellow for the New Leaders Council of New Jersey. While in law school, he was awarded the Eagleton Institute of Politics Governors Executive Fellowship and selected as the graduation class speaker. So let's all please welcome Leonard Jones to the Real Raw.
The Seton Hall Pirates are in the house, Leonard. How are you?
Indeed, yes, I am a pirate. Yes, I'm well. I'm doing well. Thank you for having me.
What is your fun fact? Besides the fact that you're a really smart dude.
I think I'm average. Born in
Whoa. No. We distinguish around these parts, and this may be a magical distinction for everyone, between humility and false modesty. Humility being the feeling that we're not better than anyone or less than anyone, but false modesty, if you might be able to, I don't know, like squat 1,000 pounds or break the world record, be like, oh, I don't really squat that much. That would inaccurately depict where you should be on a tug of war team, for example. So Leonard, you are clearly brilliant. Thank you for being here. And what is your fun fact, sir?
Thank you. So I was born in Monrovia, Liberia. For those of you who are not familiar with Liberia, Liberia is intimately tied to the history of the United States. It was the country where, after the Emancipation Proclamation, where freed, formerly enslaved people were sent back to. So that's a fun fact that a lot of people don't know. And a lot of people wonder why I'm West African with quite a Western name. Like, you're from West Africa, your name is Leonard Jones. So, that's historical context there.
Yeah, I love the context. And this guy's saying he's not that smart. He's average.
He's very smart.
Definitely not average. Amazing, Larry. Thank you so much for being here. P.S. Did you ever have Professor Michael Reisinger at Seton Hall in evidence, or do you know who that is?
No, I did not have that. So I went to Seton Hall undergrad. I went to Rutgers Law School.
Oh, yeah. Yes. Okay.
I wasn't at the Seton Hall Law School.
Gotcha. Rutgers. Scarlet Knights are in the building. So no, Professor Reisinger is actually my uncle former uncle through marriage. And he's one of the foremost evidence professors in the country. He teaches Seton Hall, and he is definitely an interesting, wacky dude, to be sure, but love him to no end. So Leonard, thank you so much for being here, and congratulations on all of your great success.
Thank you.
Thank you. Gina Ricci.
Our final judge today, Sean Kelly. He's kind of a wacky dude, attorney, general counsel, integralist leader, loves his favorite Disney character. This man consulted on hundreds of M&A transactions totaling in excess of $500 billion. 500 billion.
That sounds like something Dr. Evil said in Austin Powers. Go ahead, Jimmy.
Yeah. Previously with Pricewaterhouse, one of only 20 lawyers that handled the largest equity transaction in history with Verizon, valued at a small $290 billion. Let's all please welcome this extraordinary man, Mr. Paul Criscuolo, to the Real Raw.
Aside from throwing some Dr. Evil Austin Power-like numbers, Paul Criscuolo, what is your fun fact, my friend?
So my fun fact today is I've got 3 children, the youngest of which just graduated high school and will be starting college in the fall. And I get to take him this week to orientation at Ohio State. And this may be his fun fact, not mine, but he's going to Ohio State. He has never even been into the state of Ohio, never mind to Ohio State University. So when I take him out later this week, hopefully he likes it.
Yes, hopefully. Go Buckeyes, go Ohio. Cedar Point roller coaster riding is present, and maybe some other things. But Paul, thank you, brother, for being here. And P.S. Paul and I have known each other since we're 6 years old, as another fun fact. Yes, so thank you, Paul. Yeah, so.
And speaking of fun facts, was that your fun fact, or do you have another fun fact for us today?
I will go to fun facts since I've heard so many beautiful things from so many people. I'll go 2 real quick, related, but
wait, the rest of us didn't get 2.
That's true. So I'll go 1. So I will go with the fact that I was in. I've taught blind people to win at carnival games. That is my fun fact as a blind man. So yes, let's get going.
I think it's a pretty fun fact that like you surf as a blind man and you've taught people how to surf as a blind man. I think you've even taught blind people how to surf as a blind man.
That may be true also.
Yeah.
So Gina Ricci, we love you. Bella, who's going first?
You guys have fun
with our good friend Rippy.
All right, Rippy, who would you like Bella to be is the question. This entire process is about going from hello to yes. And it could be anything. It could be a management situation, a legal situation. It could be a marketing or selling question, recruiting dynamic. But something, Rippy, that would be valuable for you in working on how we go from hello to yes, not pitching, hooking, closing, but integrous leadership like the hearts that are all here today. Rippy, please, who would you like Bella to be?
When you say who would I like Bella to be? Okay, so I would like Bella to be a decision maker at a law firm that is in charge of, let's say, a director of diversity or a managing partner or an operational type partner who would entertain my request as president-elect of Saba, New Jersey for our annual gala, which is our traditional fundraiser, with which we take the funds and we sponsor law students. We pay for third-year law students to take the bar exam and take the bar exam prep course. So we use the funds for very proper purposes and for the community and provide CLEs. We do training. We have a lot of networking events, jobs. So I'd like to know, how can I have Bella give me the highest level of sponsorship, which currently.
All right. So, so we'll do it during the scenario. Is that okay? So,
yes.
So is this a first time call? She doesn't know you're calling, or have you scheduled a 3-minute meeting?
Let's say it's a first time call or even a first time.
All right. So
she is brave. I like
Director of Diversity. Here we go.
Hi. How are you today, Ms. Brita?
I am doing fantastic.
Fantastic. Happy to hear it. I was reading about you on LinkedIn and your recent publications and your firm's heroic diversity efforts in recognizing women and minority lawyers. And we are just, our organization, the South Asian Bar Association of New Jersey, we are just incredibly impressed by your tenacity to support those in need. And we would love to partner with your firm, Verita Esquire, that we would love to partner with you and invite you to be a part of our annual gala, where you will have access to approximately 400 individuals, from prominent individuals, government officials, dignitaries from all over the United States. We would invite you to put forth your company and your firm as a premier sponsor at the emerald level of $20,000. And for that, we will award you 20 tickets to the gala, a speaking opportunity, 20 individual memberships for the entire year, as well as countless other opportunities to meet incredible talent over the year and help your pipeline, your incoming pipeline, and give you access to remarkable law students for internships at your firm.
Yeah, how long have you guys been like doing this event, and like how many people are expected? It sounds interesting, but I'm just not sure it's a fit for us or not.
I understand. I appreciate the question. We are expecting about 400 guests based on last year's number that attended. And last year was during the pandemic. In the height of the pandemic, we had approximately 400 guests.
Wow.
This year, we are looking to match that. And it is at the beautiful location in Somerset, New Jersey at the Marigold Banquet Hall. Very elegant, extremely beautiful, and conveniently located. And I think this is an excellent opportunity for Verita Esquire to partner with us just to have access to the high level folks that are coming to speak at our event, to attend, and also the pipeline of talented, diverse lawyers that you would get to meet at this event and be recognized with a speaking opportunity where you get to laud all your recent achievements, your recent accomplishments in the legal industry. And I think it's an excellent opportunity for our membership to learn about your firm.
It sounds very interesting. Maybe we can have a bit of a longer conversation. We ran out of time here, but I definitely have some questions about the event and would like to find out a little bit more.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much. I will schedule a follow-up call.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right. Excellent job, Rippy. Love the energy.
Yes.
Love the cause. Who's going next?
Next, we have Howard.
Howard, who would you like Bella to be? Please.
Let's see. I would probably like Bella to be, let's say, an officer in human resources or on the management level as I pitch to her why our firm should handle her employment needs.
Ooh, take us in, officer.
All right. Hello, this is Officer Bella.
Well, hi, Bella. My name is Howard Matalon. I run the employment practices department of our firm, Olander Feldman, which is a 25 attorney firm located in Summit, New Jersey. And we have a diverse practice area, including M&A, healthcare, data privacy, commercial litigation, and of course, employment, which is why I want to talk to you today.
Yeah.
What is the biggest problem that you are having or you're facing as in employment at your company right now? Tell me a little bit about your needs and your expectations.
Yeah, I would say, our biggest challenge is, finding good talent that actually wants to work in this day and age. It seems like, I don't know if it's me, I don't know if other people have had this issue, but it seems post-COVID that people have gotten a bit lazier. They're used to being at home, working from home, have this idea that, working from home can be a thing. And so, I feel like that's been our biggest challenge of people having the same drive that they had before.
So you don't think that the employees are as engaged as they were pre-COVID? Is that
Absolutely,
one of your problems?
Yeah, I would say.
So one of the things that I would recommend to you is to look at what initiatives you're rolling out for them in terms of bringing that remote workforce, let's say, closer to home, even if they don't want to come into the office. One of the things we excel at our firm is creating a tailored program to develop performance initiatives on behalf of the company for those employees to make them feel more connected. Because it's always a two-way street. The employees, on the one hand, are feeling a bit disengaged. There's still a lot of uncertainty out there about their future. And of course, it's an out of sight, out of mind problem. So if I could share their mindset, they may be thinking, for example, that the company doesn't value them as much. They're not around, they're not in the workplace. It becomes a stigma that they're all remote, but they're incredibly valuable human beings and they're capital assets of the business. So what we really need to do is, first, we need to map out from an audit perspective what assets you have, how those assets are deployed, what kind of performance evaluations or reviews are getting, and at least get a survey out to them or get some feedback from them as to what their expectations are and how they feel perhaps that they're not as focused or connected to the company post-COVID as they were before COVID.
That sounds
we could
very
start there.
interesting, Howard. I would definitely, love to learn a bit more about that, because if there's something that we can do to increase our engagement and, have happier employees, we definitely want to find out more about that.
And I think that would be a great place to start.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Howard. That was
Of
fantastic.
course.
Excellent job. So let's go to judges.
Let's do it. Let's start. So what this looks like, everyone, is 30 seconds of feedback for either Howard or Ripa, just depending on which, Rippy, sorry, depending on which way we go. 30 seconds of feedback, something that they did absolutely extraordinary, something that they could do to optimize, and then a score of 1 to 10. 1 being you would rather go to the dentist and have a root canal than have a longer conversation. 5 being like, if they offered you a meeting at Starbucks, you might join them for a cup of coffee if they were buying the coffee. And 10 being you would rent a private jet to fly anywhere in the world just to have a longer conversation. So let's start with Danny. How about your 30 seconds of feedback for Rippy?
Hi. So Rippy, I thought you did an amazing job at getting, the information, at sort of anticipating what questions Bella was going to ask, what sort of information she needed to make an informed decision, and sort of leading her in that direction. If I had to offer, one sort of opportunity, I guess I would say maybe ask a couple more questions and kind of, lead off of that.
Beautiful.
But,
and what's your score for Rippy?
I would say an 8. I can't afford the private jet just yet, so I can't go with a 10.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Naija, how about your 30 seconds of feedback for Howard?
Howard, I thought it was great that you asked about a problem, because you're someone who wants to solve them, and it's good to kind of hear what the problem is. I think I would have done more just to kind of describe who you are, to kind of give it some context. I'm calling from such and such place. I am the boss man, whatever, the title is, just to kind of let her know who she's talking to, what level. But aside from that, I like that you engaged her in conversation.
And your score?
I can't afford a private jet either, so let's go 8.
Wow.
Awesome. Great
Thank
job.
you.
Let's go Paul Criscolo. How about your 30 seconds of feedback for your good friend Rippy?
Excellent. So I thought, Rippy, you and Howard both did a wonderful job. So kudos to both of you. What I liked about yours, Rippy, is I liked how you started with acknowledging Bella and a lot of the things that she has accomplished and speaking into that acknowledgement. What I would add before doing that, I just set some context around it, right? So a brief comment of, can I have 3 minutes of your time, right? This isn't a sales pitch. And then once you set that context, then jump into the acknowledgement. I thought you also did a wonderful job of outlining what's in it for Bella, right? The benefits that these things can provide to her. I would just pause a little bit as you were going through it. You seem to be throwing out a lot of benefits, a lot of positives. I would just pause and make sure she's tracking, right? And just ask her unattached, is this resonating with you or not? Just to make sure she's still engaged and tracking.
Awesome. And Paul, what is your score for your good friend Rippy?
I can't afford the private jet anywhere. I thought maybe one day I'll borrow the unblinded private jet, but I had her at 9.1.
9.1. So Rippy, he'll come fly and see you on the unblinded jet.
Yeah.
Isn't that kind of him?
Amazing.
All right. Leonard, let's go. Your 30 seconds of feedback for Howard.
I think Howard did a great job. I think the only thing I would have done differently was add more about some of his prior success stories. I think clients like to hear that when you're telling them about, clients that you represented. At first, I thought it was a bit, kind of cliche for people to do that, but I think they like to know the quality of lawyering you've done in your past and your prior success. That's the only thing that I would add. I too cannot afford a private jet. I don't even have friends who can afford a private jet, so I need to increase and get better friends. So I will give you probably an 8. So once I get together, when I can afford the jet, you're free to come on with me anytime.
Thank you.
Awesome job.
So from here, great job, everybody, by the way. Yep, what's that?
I said extraordinary.
Yeah. So from here, what we typically do is Bella puts me on the hot seat about any topic. So Bella.
Yeah, so we randomly select. So Sean, how about you choose a number between 1 and 5?
4.
4. That would be Nyjah. So you can set a scenario for Sean, or you can assign it to somebody else, completely up to you. And this is a scenario that Sean would go from hello to yes on with you or someone here that you would like to see him model. So is there anything in particular that comes to mind for you?
There is actually.
All right.
I did do some research and I saw that he sold his first law firm, and that's something that I'd love to see a pitch on. You're the seller, not the buyer. So what is that conversation like?
Beautiful. And do you want to be the buyer of the law firm?
Sure.
Okay.
And I just want to make sure one more time I'm saying correctly. It's
Nyjah.
Nyjah, I apologize.
Yeah, no worries.
Fine.
Okay, so Nyjah, thanks so much for having a quick conversation with me. Appreciate you a ton. And I know we don't have time to talk about all the things, but can I ask, why are you interested potentially in buying a law firm?
Well, my practice is growing, and I see that your firm is very successful in a practice area that I don't have, and I'd love to bring that on to expand my conglomerate.
Yeah, beautiful. And why though, Nyjah? Like, what's the mission? What's the expansion mean to you? Like, what
the expansion is to have a better offerings to my clients, whether it can be a one-stop shopping. I've noticed there's a gap. I have to send this type of work out. So I'm looking to bring that in so that my clients can stay in-house.
Beautiful. But I think overall, from a legacy and outcome perspective, what is it about for you? So I'm getting the growth, I'm getting the economics, for sure, it makes sense. Why do you want to grow though? What are you looking to create in the world?
I am trying to create a place where my clients feel seen, valued, and they're receiving excellent services. I have a service model where I train my lawyers to have client interactions in a certain way. So I would love for the same populations that I already serve to have that other practice area where they don't have to be referred out to a firm that they're not comfortable with.
Love it. Appreciate it. So I'm hearing growth, I'm hearing energy, expansion, fully present. Am I hearing you correctly?
Correct.
Awesome. Would it be okay if I shared then a little bit about what we have here and what's happening?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So believe it or not, I created this law firm 6 months out of law school on my credit card, $100,000 in debt. And I was in the process of going blind. I still am. And so now that we're here in 2002 and I'm 4.5 years out of law school, what I'm looking to do is to teach other people how to do the same. So the reason I'm selling the law firm is because I want to go and train people to cause acceleration, because I had no idea what I was doing. I came out of law school. I got what I thought was my dream job at one of New Jersey's most prestigious law firms. And I realized very quickly that it's a fine place. I'm not criticizing anyone, but there was a gap, massive gap, between what I had hoped for as a person who had grown up as an athlete in different sports in a wonderful, tiny little town, and in the personal, professional, financial growth that I would have expected to be experiencing, feeling, just wasn't there. And so when I created my own law firm, everybody thought it was crazy. They actually offered me, Nyjah, psychological counseling, believe it or not. So what I did is I started reading books. I started studying. I had gone to Columbia as an undergrad. I went to Seton Hall Law, graduate with honors. But nowhere did anybody teach me that the pathway to time and economic freedom, the pathway to impact, was rooted in integriously generating business. And this became my path. And in 4 years, I built a 40-person law firm. And the most unique part about it was I asked myself the question of what could be duplicatable, what could be scalable. So the work we do is in the space of medical revenue recovery. So we help doctors and doctors, hospitals, surgical centers in reimbursement battles against insurance companies. And what that also does is it creates a ton of spin-off legal work, because obviously medical practices are businesses. So I'd love to have a conversation with you whether or not you're interested in acquiring the firm because you're interested in impact and acceleration. And as a blind man, that's what my life stood for: inclusion, expansion, possibility. And I don't mean inclusion as a code political word. I mean it as a legitimate word for just possibility for people. And that's what my life stands for. The firm has an unbelievable culture on top of it, of a growth mindset, a heart mindset. So if any of that resonates with you, Nilaja, I'd be happy to have a longer conversation. If it doesn't, I just really enjoyed chatting today.
Thank you. Let's talk.
Awesome. At a roll. Okay, Nilaja, how do we do?
No, that was excellent. And I think being on the side, it's like selling a home, you know, in terms of, you know, this is my life's work. This is something that I cherish and value. I have sentimental ties to. I don't want it to go into kind of the wrong person's hand. Maybe it's more intimate than selling a house. But, you know, it's a buyer-seller conversation where everybody has to be comfortable and on the same page. And I felt very comfortable with what you're selling in terms of what I said I want to be buying. So.
Well, thank you. And Ricci, how'd that feel for you?
It felt really good. I felt that you were engaged and you were genuinely interested in what Nilaja's goals are and what she had hoped to achieve in the end. And you tailored your response very specifically with detailed steps how she can achieve that. And I just thought it was obviously downright excellent. I'd give you the 10. And even though I don't have a private jet, I do have somebody that does have a private jet. We'll be making a phone call. Yes, what is it? A question to yes, you know, for that person.
Yeah, well, thank you, Ricci. That was very generous. And I just had the unique privilege of being on a private jet going to the Ukraine. So I was going to add that in earlier as my fun fact with a friend of mine, Chris Crone. And then we came back and we raised $2.6 million on top of the original million we raised. So we raised $3.6 million in under a month, 2.6 million in 3 hours in an event that people were not perceiving as a fundraiser. And that's a lot of the work that we talk about is how do you create access to value and clarity integrally for people. And this show today, and every show is taped, so you can see if I say the same thing every day, which I promise you I don't, really just felt a unique access to heart and growth energy. We have wonderful people every day. More than 3,250 people have been here so far, more than 525 shows. But there was something, this is like a 0.1% out of the shows that we've done. So really appreciate all of you very much. And Howard, how was your time with us here today?
I loved it. I think, you know, to Leonard's point about experience shares, I think there's a lot to be gained when you interact with people. And you were very explicit in the way you approach things, I thought, Sean, about sharing not the value of the firm directly, but rather indirectly. Through how you grew it, where it started from. And I liked how Ricci approached the fundraiser very much too.
Great job.
It came across as extraordinarily polished for an off-the-cuff discussion with someone. So kudos to you for that. It's very helpful to see how people present themselves when they're attempting to engage in some value transaction. Yeah.
And Howard, outstanding job. As well, without a doubt. And what you just articulated is something profoundly available here and profoundly present. And it's this distinction that the folks that appreciate this work the most tend to be people who are new and just developing, right? They're just really trying to get going, or folks that really have a high level of mastery. The folks that are sort of like in the 90th percentile to the 99th, may be, yeah, I know that. This group has had an extraordinarily unique level of mastery. And I mean that with all my heart. So thank you for that comment and for being here today, Howard.
Absolutely. Wouldn't have missed.
Thank you. And Leonard, love you, your background, all the things. Commencement speaker from law school. That's like drop the mic. How was your time with us, sir?
My time, I think it was a great time. I think it was a great opportunity. I think hearing from Rippy, Howard, and the insight from everyone here, from Danny to Elijah and Paul, was, I think, very insightful. It's very important to kind of have these opportunities to kind of bring our collective experiences together. Truly, I think it helps you grow as an individual and creates more perspective as you move forward in the world. So it was a great opportunity. Thank you for having me.
Well, thank you, Leonard. And you want to ask a couple of other fine friends how their experience was?
Let's hear from Danny.
Danny, please.
Yeah, and I'll echo what Leonard just said. I mean, I completely agree. This was a phenomenal group to be a part of and to learn from, really. I feel like in my practice and in life, I am learning every day. And in this remote world where we don't have a lot of people that we are working with and engaging with on the daily, things like this that bring that together and put you in a room with brilliant leaders that are paving different paths in different directions, but all forward. It's a real privilege and honor.
No, it was a privilege and honor to have you here, Danny, with all of your extraordinary leadership present and the beautiful things. Plus, how could you not love somebody coming from Hawaii originally? And who else do we have?
Did we hear from Elijah already?
We ended up with Nilaja and Rippy will go last. And was that the entire?
That's all we have left.
Is that right?
And Paul.
Okay, yeah, we'll get to Paul in a sec. So yeah, let's go, Paul. How was your experience, Paul Criscuolo?
Always awesome to join you and the wonderful Bella Verita. But this was an extraordinary group of people that was put together. I don't know what you would rate it. We usually do the scales of like 0 to 10, although 10 being unattainable because it's always leveling up your mastery. But I would give this like a 9 point. I'm interested to know what you would give it, Sean. I'd give it a 9.999.
Yeah, I would go 9.9999. Awesome job, Paul. Love
awesome.
You. Rippy, one of the finest performances from a participant yet, particularly in the space of fundraising. Your approach was so uniquely tailored to the what's in it, as the judge said, what was in it from the perspective of Bella. Really outstanding job. Most folks, we talk about these things, and this is something, one of the many areas that we teach and share. We often think like the presentation becomes about us, and it wasn't at all. So it is clear why you've gained so much influence in the world. And again, thank you for being here. And how was your time with us, Rippy?
Oh, thank you so much for your kind words and the constructive criticism from everybody. I appreciated it. I feel like my time here was well spent. I learned so much. Wonderful to meet the new folks and see Nilasha again. And Howard, I feel like I learned quite a bit from your pitch by the way you focused on asking the question, taking that pause, giving the other person a chance to speak and understanding their needs. I feel I learned a lot from you, and I'm actually very curious about the services you offer. So maybe we can connect on the side afterwards. But thank you so much for having me. This has been a fun hour. Thank you.
And both Howard and Rippy, truly dynamic duo participants today.
Thank you.
Nilaja, taking us home. Again, thank you so much for the role play. And how was your time with us overall?
Well, the time, as Rippy said, was definitely well spent. I was floored to hear from Craig, and I do appreciate the invitation on. I love Rippy. She gets 10 out of 10 for everything. I'll figure out the money. And I also, it's great to see Leonard as well. And nice to meet everybody else. I'm someone who is more of a newbie, like you said, these people who are, definitely in growth mode. My firm started in November. I have 3 attorneys already, full staff, so I'm moving quickly.
That's
but
awesome.
It's because of conversations like this and making the time to keep learning, growing, and enhancing potential.
Yeah, and Elijah, just to be clear, when I was saying, sort of in the more beginning stage, I was referring to the mastery of people's influence. Clearly, to be where you are and already building and scaling means you're already at a very, very meaningful level of mastery. That is clear. So fantastic job.
Thank you. Thank you.
So as we round this thing down, I just want to acknowledge you, Bella, for the fantastic job that you do every single day in all the beautiful ways. Bella's work stands for acceleration of people, their professional practices, their businesses overall. And that's what we all are here to do, is to grow, to accelerate, and do all the wonderful things. We have a lot more to talk about and do. We invite you back for a legally unblinded night at our headquarters up in Paramus, New Jersey, virtually in person. We do some really fun and magical things. Any final thought from you, Miss Bella Verita?
Final is, I would love to share with this fine group, because I was thinking about this earlier when it comes to influence and leadership. I don't know if anybody here knows Tony Robbins, but whether you like him or not, Tony Robbins said—
The dude's got some influence in the world.
The dude definitely has some influence.
He doesn't have a private jet. He's got like an airliner.
Yeah,
Yes.
His own like private airliner jet.
Yes.
I think he gets paid like $1 million a speaking engagement and a year to coach with him. I think he's coached 4 presidents.
Yes.
Is that if that's
4
correct?
presidents,
Yeah. So he's got some influence in the world. So whether you like him or not, he actually at a live event with 300 people called Sean his coach and said that there is no one who leads with more heart and more integrity than Sean Callagy. And I personally have been in the personal development coaching space for about 2.5 decades. And I was sharing with someone earlier that's head of a legal association that there is no one that seeks to give more value than they receive than Sean Callagy. I mean, Chris said it at the beginning of the video. So, definitely would love to invite everybody back for an illegally invited, because I guarantee you will get more value, that you will receive more value than we do for that event. So would love to see you all back. So Sean, back to you.
Yeah, and appreciate everyone. I do believe in what Neil Elijah is doing. I believe in acceleration. I believe in what Rippy's doing and all of you are doing, which is either the expansion of your practice or the expansion of your impact, or both. And that leads to the world changing in positive ways. People say it, but I actually think there's a scientific formula to do it. And that's the work that we do here. So incredibly grateful for all of you and the time that you spent. I think these big solutions are actually out there, but I may be physically blind, but I think we're all blind at some level.
And just learning to see. Bye-bye, everyone.
Have a great day. Thank you.
Bye-bye.